Welcome. In this explainer, we're going to break down a process that is absolutely crucial for any PMO that wants to deliver real tangible value. We're talking about service onboarding. Let's jump right in. So, you know the feeling, right? Your team has poured months, maybe longer, into building this brilliant new PMO service. You just know it's going to be a game changer. You hit launch, you wait for the applause, and then you hear nothing. Just crickets. It's one of the most frustrating things that can happen, but the good news is it's completely fixable.
And if that story sounds a little too familiar, then you've definitely seen these symptoms before. The adoption rates are just dismal. You might even get active resistance from people who think it's just more work. And at the end of the day, all that incredible effort your team put in feels like it was wasted. But here's the thing, that's not a failure of the service, it's a failure of the launch.
So, to get this right, we're going to walk through a proven playbook. First, we'll dig into why onboarding is so non-negotiable. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, the prep work, the execution, and the final transition into day-to-day operations. And to wrap it all up, we're going to give you a way to do a little self-assessment and see how you're doing right now.
Okay, let's start with the big idea here. Onboarding isn't just some box you check at the end of a project. No, it is the absolute critical link between building something great and having people actually use it to create value.
So, what is service onboarding really? Well, at its core, it's a structured process. But I want you to think of it like this. It's a bridge. On one side of the canyon, you have the amazing service your team just built. On the other side is all the value it's supposed to deliver. Without that onboarding bridge, your service is stuck on the wrong side, and it's going nowhere.
All right, let's get into the how-to. A successful launch doesn't start on launch day. It starts way before that. It all begins with laying the right groundwork.
This whole preparation phase really boils down to two key things: preparing your people with real customer engagement and preparing your process with a training program that actually works.
Now, when it comes to engaging your customers, you have to be proactive. This isn't about sending one email and calling it a day. And pay really close attention to that last point on the list. You've got to find your service champions. These are the folks inside the business who get it, who are excited, and who will help you build that groundswell of support. They make your job so much easier.
Next up is training. Look, a one-size-fits-all approach is just a recipe for failure. The best programs always start by figuring out what different types of users actually need. From there, you build a mix of materials. And here's a little pro tip for you. Don't sleep on the idea of certification. It sounds simple, but it can be a massive motivator for people to really learn the system.
So, we've done our prep work. Now we move into the execution phase. This is where the rubber meets the road, where we do some real-world testing and start building out the support systems our users will rely on.
This phase is broken down into two main steps. First, we roll out a controlled pilot to get some honest feedback. And while that's happening, we build a support infrastructure that's going to ensure people are successful in the long run.
A pilot program is your secret weapon. I mean it. It's your chance to find all the bugs and fix all the confusing parts before they impact the entire organization. But you're not just looking for problems. You're also collecting your first success stories, the proof points that will build excitement and momentum for the real launch.
Let's be honest. As soon as people start using the service, they're going to have questions. They're going to get stuck. A solid support system isn't nice to have, it's a must-have. You need clear processes, a good knowledge base, and multiple ways for people to get help. Think of it as a safety net. It gives users the confidence they need to really dive in and adopt the new service.
And now for the final phase of the playbook. This is all about taking your new service from being a special project and weaving it into the very fabric of how the business runs every single day. These last two steps are what makes sure the service doesn't just launch, but that it actually thrives. First, we have to watch its performance like a hawk. And second, we need to execute a clean, formal handoff to make it part of the PMO's daily operations.
You've heard it a million times. You can't improve what you don't measure. It's so true here. Having a performance dashboard with key metrics isn't just for you. It gives your customers transparency. This data is what fuels smart conversations and lets you make adjustments based on facts, not guesswork.
A smooth handover is just critical for long-term health. It means having great documentation, solid knowledge transfer, and really clear communication so there are no surprises. And hey, don't you dare forget to celebrate. Acknowledging the win reinforces the value of what you've all accomplished.
Okay, we've walked through the whole playbook, from start to finish. Now it's time to turn the spotlight back on you and your PMO. Let's see where you stand.
So I want you to take a second and be really honest with yourself. How effective is your current onboarding process? Is it a thought-out, structured system, or is it more of an afterthought?
Now, using the self-assessment from our source material, you can actually get a hard number on this. These scoring tiers give you a really clear picture of where you are right now. And listen, this isn't about judgment. If you land in that critical category, that's okay. It just means you've found your starting point for making things better.
Here are just a few of the kinds of questions from that assessment to get you thinking. Take that third one. Do we analyze pilot feedback to identify patterns and pain points? If your honest answer is no, that is a huge red flag. It means you're flying blind into a full company-wide launch. Answering these questions honestly is the first real step to building a truly world-class process.
And this quote just sums it all up perfectly. A great onboarding process isn't just about launching a tool. It's about building trust. It's how the PMO shows everyone that it's a committed, valuable, and strategic partner to the business.
So please, remember this. Onboarding isn't the finish line for your project. It is the starting line of a long-term relationship with your users. So, the question I want to leave you with is this. Looking at how you do things today, what is the very first step you're going to take to make that relationship stronger?